I mean, and they never quit playing. And it's what happens in the league, and that's at home. I can't even imagine what's going to happen on the road when we go on the road. But Mark's done a great job. From the beginning of the year till now, I would say there's two teams that are the most improved, and that's Pitt and Georgia. And I would say Pitt's improved because they added 2 players who did not play. Georgia's better because they're just getting better. He's just done a great, they play how they have to play to be in the game, and my hat's off to him. We were fortunate to get out with a win. Questions?
Cal, could you just talk a little bit about DeMarcus down the stretch for you guys?
He was a beast. We were throwing it to him every single time. He's making free throws now, which means you can do it. If you can't make free throws, we can't play through you, because it's demoralizing to your team. Well, he can make free throws. So we throw it to him. He's making passes. He got fouled a couple other times where it was almost arm grabs and no calls. But I said, you just got to play through that. You got to play. The only way they can stop him is grab his arms. But you know, I didn't think our bench did what we needed to do, and I don't know exactly why, but they played tentative. I don't know if it was the Drapes from last year's SEC, I don't know. But our bench didn't give us what we need to get from our bench to be good.
John, you said several times early on that when the game was on the line, you'd go to Patterson in the post. Obviously, you're going with Cousins. Why that?
Because he's getting it done. You won't believe this, Jerry, I want to win. Nothing else matters to me. I'm trying to win a ball game. And Patrick had a rough time with Tompkins, to be honest with you. Tompkins did not seem at all intimidated. He got 13 rebounds. You know, Tompkins went right at Patrick. And one of the things I was looking for with some of the guys on the bench was their fight. Just come on, man, battle, fight. I don't care. These games are going to be hard. Well, who fought? You tell me who went in and when I subbed them fought.
Liggins.
Yeah, DeAndre. I mean, it's not brain surgery, and you know nothing about basketball, and you could tell me that.
Whoa, now.
Whoa. Hey.
This is Kentucky.
Don't lump us all with Cutler.
I forgot. But we all saw that now the question is, should I start him? Should he be a starter? You know, if he's going to, the tentativeness, the softness, I got screened, I didn't hear, I'm sorry. Too late now, man. We're midway through a season. You got to ball. You got to go out there and fight and compete. If you're not, I'm going to play somebody else. And I have not changed since I sat in the seat. We got some guys fighting it a little bit, like, you know, well, try if you threw me the ball more. It ain't about that. It's about battling. DeAndre was probably the difference in the game. If I had to play other people, we probably couldn't have enough to win. Because one guy was breaking down, they were coming up with balls. I mean, he tied up a ball for a jump ball. You know, he makes that layup when we were dying. I mean, he did some really good things. I'm proud of him, too, by the way, really proud of him.
Coach, you talked about tentativeness. At the end of these last couple games, you've had Liggins this game, Ramon the last game. Do you feel like Darius is playing tentative? What would you say is his...
Well, there's always something that shows me that, uh-oh, I better get him out. Because I'm not going to guess that he'll play through it. He hadn't proven to me that he'll play through it. So if he breaks down one time, or he misses something wide open, or he makes a play he shouldn't make, he hasn't shown me that mental toughness that I'll play through it, watch the next play. It affects the next play. He hadn't been with me long enough to have amnesia, to play on to the next play. But I have a lot of faith in him. He made a shot when we were dying in the first half. He's trying, he's a great kid, he's in practice, but confidence is demonstrated performance. It's not me saying you're the best, or I'm playing you more minutes, or confidence is demonstrated performance. You get in there and perform, you build your confidence. Are you seeing what's happening with DeMarcus? He's just building more confidence and more confidence. Why? Because he's performing. DeAndre, you saw him build more confidence because he has demonstrated performance. We got to get that from everybody. And I told him, for us to be one of those teams, our bench is going to have to be deep. And it's, you know, it wasn't this game, but hopefully next game will be fine.
Coach, did you see any similarities between this game and any other games this past season?
No, it's a league game. You just want to win the first one. You know, we just, you know, I was worried like crazy. I watched 4 of their tapes twice. And I was scared to death. And my problem was, these guys didn't know how good this team was. And that's a hard one for a coach. It was like Long Beach State. Tried to tell them, you don't understand. And we're coming in, and now all of a sudden it's 40-40 at halftime. But again, our will to win at the end showed. But you know what? If they hadn't turned it over so much, we'd have been down 15 at halftime. They turned it over. That's the only reason we were in the game.
Which tapes was it you watched?
What's that?
The tapes that you watched.
I watched the Georgia Tech game, I watched the Missouri game, I watched the Illinois game, and there was one other that I watched, and I'm slipping me right now. This is the first one I watched, so I can't remember, but there was one other that I watched.
John, I was going to ask you about the turnovers. They have had problems with that earlier. How much was that part of the game plan to get them?
We did, and you notice we changed our press a little bit this week to play it a little bit different, to put a little more pressure on the ball, and it wasn't just for Georgia, it's for how we need to be playing. So that was, we're going to be able to watch the tape now and see where we got to get better with that. But we did want to turn them over. It was one of the things we were going to try to do. If you think about it, if they have 8 less turnovers, they probably win the game.
John, a couple things. One, could you just talk a little bit about when you said Patterson wasn't doing something, but he did get the 2 follow shots back to back.
Late game, he made 2 big-time offensive plays, offensive rebounds, and that is just effort. But he still didn't rebound the ball like he should. There were balls that he should have gotten. There were, you know, you got to take the personal challenge of that other player. In other words, I'm going to go get him. I had one guy in my huddle, knowing a player was hurting us, saying, I'm guarding him. Sam Cassell used to do that when I coached in the NBA. I'll guard him. He was talking Michael Jordan. Whoever hurt us, Sam Cassell would say, I got him. Let me guard him. And obviously I said, okay. And we had a guy in our huddle do that. But again, you got to look at it as a personal affront. The guy's laughing, talking, what? I'm the first team All-American, and I just got to bring it out of him. You know, we really need him now. He made those 2 offensive tip-ins that won the game. But it wouldn't have been a game if they don't turn it over so much. We would have been down, and those plays wouldn't have mattered.